Before you consider switching to Lightning, there are a few things to know and do first. First thing to know is browser support. Almost all modern browsers are supported, but with some very minor exceptions, like at the time of this recording, private browsing mode in Firefox is not supported, analytics piece in Safari is not supported, and developer console in Microsoft Edge is not supported. Speaking about Microsoft, IE11 is not supported by default. So to get extended support, you must first manually opt in, which will buy you time until the end of 2020. You can opt in only if your org has been updated with Winter 18 release or later. Actually, let me reiterate. I11 is in fact supported, but you must ask for it, and you should have at least Winter 18 release in order to get it. And even that is temporary because the support will only last until the end of 2020. The opt-in process is well documented, so I suggest you go through Salesforce documentation for details, or just Google for extended support for IE11 in Lightning, and you'll find it. Okay, and if you're watching this video, you are most likely a developer, so it's best if you don't use any Microsoft made browsers for Lightning development. Chrome is the only browser that is fully supported at this time, so if you are open to a browser choice, then I recommend Chrome. Okay, with regards to an org, I'm pretty sure that you either have an existing sandbox framework, or if not, you can sign up for a developer org for free at developer.salesforce.com. It takes less than 5 minutes. It is as simple as signing up for a Gmail account. You just provide your name and email and verify that your email is correct, and that's it. You're in. Okay. Um, if you are using an existing sandbox and are used to Salesforce Classic experience so far and are considering trying Lightning, then I strongly recommend following the Migration Assistant. What is Migration Assistant, and where can you find it? Let me actually show that to you. Let me switch my screen. There. So you can find it in the side panel of the setup page. I'm sure you are familiar with the setup page. You click on that, and here on the side you can find the Lightning Experience Migration Assistant. Okay, this option is only available in classic mode. So if you just signed up for a new developer edition, or if you are already in Lightning Experience, you will not see it, and it is not even required for you at that point. If that is the case, please skip to setting up Lightning Experience users and my domain aspect in this topic. Okay, you don't have to follow through the Migration Assistant talk. All right. Heading back to Migration Assistant, let me actually click on it. Let's get started. There are some advantages of using Migration Assistant. First, it'll coach you on what Lightning is and what the differences between Salesforce and classic modes are, and the best practices to keep in mind while setting up Lightning. Just click on these links to get that info. Okay, and then there is a readiness report. This one is very useful. A migration assistant goes through your existing setup and features in entirety and emails you a comprehensive report of features that are lightning ready and the ones that need your attention. Okay, so if you have a very complex setup today in Visualforce and aren't sure which features will work with Lightning and which wouldn't, then this is exactly what you want. Just click on this button to generate that report, and a PDF document will be emailed out to you. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Preview. Simple. Just see how your org would look like in Lightning if it is turned on today. That is for you as an administrator to take a sneak peek into how everything is gonna look like in Lightning. Okay. And then the next tab is optimize with features. These are some recommended features for Lightning. Although it says recommended here, a custom domain is in fact required if you intend to use custom components in Lightning pages. Okay, so because we are here to learn Lightning, learn how to build custom components in Lightning, this is no longer just a recommendation, but in fact required. Okay, so please go ahead and set one up. But keep in mind that this change changes your org URL. That entire URL is changed. So it has the potential to break things for your users, like bookmark links may stop working. If you have any hard-coded references of URL in your, say, formula fields, or if you have iframes that have hard-coded URL references, or email templates, or no, Visual Force pages. There's a chance they might break depending on the setting you choose at the time of setting up your domain. Okay, so when doing this in a production environment, please make sure that you have practiced and tested all the features in a sandbox first. Okay, also if you're working in production, please make sure to communicate this change to your users prior to deployment, so they don't so you don't catch them by surprise. Okay, you can find additional considerations by googling for Salesforce my domain considerations, and you'll find a full list of things to keep in mind when turning on a custom domain. Obviously you have nothing to worry about if you are in your own org, or if you've just freshly baked a developer edition org. Okay. All right, let's click on this setup my domain button here, and get started with setting up a domain. Here is the complete process for setting up a custom domain. The first process is to specify a valid domain name and register it, and then Salesforce will take a few minutes to complete the registration process, and then you will be notified via email once it is ready for your testing, and then finally you will be able to deploy it to your user base. But for time's sakes, I'm going to complete this step offline at a later point, but you should definitely consider pausing this video at this point and proceed with the setup. That said, let me get back to where we left off with the migration assistant. I'm going to close this window. Setting up my domain, we just talked about. The rest of the options are truly optional. I don't have a specific need for those, so if you need them, you can turn them on right from here. Okay, all right. The next step is to set up users. From here, you're able to choose who gets to switch to Lightning experience in your org. Okay, and note that this is not the only place from where you can do it. If you have to come back to this at a later point, this is handled behind the scenes via a permission set or profile based setting available under system permissions called Lightning Experience User. If this permission is not set, users in classic mode will not be able to switch to Lightning. Okay, and the button to switch to Lightning from classic usually shows up here on the top nav, and notice that I don't have anything here because I don't have Lightning turned on yet. In addition, for those selected Lightning users, you can default the landing page as Lightning, and you can choose whether they can toggle between Lightning and classic mode, or you can restrict them to Lightning only. This is handled via hide option to switch to Salesforce Classic permission. Okay, I repeat, it is this option will prohibit your users from switching back to Salesforce Classic mode from Lightning mode. It is called hide option to switch to Salesforce Classic permission at the profile level or at the permission set level. Okay, but I suggest you don't hide that option for your users just yet, so as to avoid that cultural shock. It is nice to give them that option to switch back and forth until they get used to it and understand the differences. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the next tab and make the switch. When I turn this on, notice that this button to switch to Lightning that I was previously mentioning to you about appears here on the top. If it still doesn't show, please make sure that the Lightning Experience User permission is set for that profile or permission set. Okay, so let me click on this button, enable it, and then yes, finish enabling Lightning Experience. And there, switch to Lightning Experience button is turned on. Okay, all right, so let me go back to the PowerPoint to make sure that we have covered everything that we were supposed to cover. In summary, Chrome works best. We talked about that. You must have an org to work on. Obviously, Migration Assistant is only available if you're currently in classic mode. But if you just ended up creating a new developer org, chances are that you're already in Lightning. So Lightning Experience User Permission is most likely in place for you. If that's the case, all you have to do is set up a custom domain for your new instance. And like I mentioned during a Migration Assistant talk, keep in mind that changing domain will change your org URL. So it has the potential to break things for your users. So please proceed with caution. And if you miss this if you missed the Migration Assistant and you want to set up your domain outside of the Migration Assistant, you can do this so by going to Setup, Quick Find, and type in my domain and follow the on-screen instructions. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to set mine up right now, but please make sure you have yours ready before our next topic. Okay.